ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Welcome back. We are studying 16th chapter, Daivasura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga, the divine and demoniac natures. So in our previous class, we got the outline of the chapter and also the first section we studied. That is the list of 26 divine qualities and the list of 6 demoniac qualities. And how Bhagavan told in the final verse of the first section, that is verse number 6, there he says that Arjuna, I have spoken about the divine qualities in many times, in many places, that is in different chapters, as we discussed, as Sthita Prajna in chapter 2, as the qualities of bhaktas in chapter 12, as the qualities of jnanis in chapter 13, as the qualities of Gunatita in chapter 14, and now here. So, many times. This is the 5th time I am going to speak about this. But Arjuna, on the other hand, I haven't spoken about the demoniac characters in extenso. So now is the time. And what is the necessity of speaking about the demoniac characters? Because Bhagavan already assured Arjuna that Arjuna is born with all the divine qualities. It is for us, as we also said in our previous class, and to warn us about this possible qualities that can pop up in our heart anytime. Though it is said that the divine qualities, one person is born with the divine qualities because it is the resultant of the past many lives. But we also know that in some bad association also, the dormant qualities can also be dominant anytime. So as we see, Karna was born of Mother Kunti. He was the son of Surya Deva. In spite of that, in association of Duryodhana, how he ruined himself, how he acquired the demoniac qualities. So now Bhagavan is going to speak about the people with demoniac dispositions. So from verse number 7 to verse number 20, Bhagavan will speak about this. So text 7. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Again. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Synonyms. Pravrittim, acting properly. Cha, also. Nivrittim, not acting improperly. Cha and janaha, persons. Na, never. Viduhu, no. Asuraha, of demoniac quality. Na, never. Shaucham, cleanliness. Na, nor. Api, also. Cha and acharaha, behavior. Na, never. Satyam, truth. Teshu, in them. Vidyate, there is. Translation. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. So, it is said here that in every civilized human society, there is some set of scriptural rules and regulations which is followed from the beginning, especially among the Aryans, those who adopt the Vedic civilization and who are known as the most advanced civilized people. Those who do not follow the scriptural injunctions are supposed to be demons. Therefore, it is stated here that the demons do not know the scriptural rules, nor do they have any inclination to follow them. Most of them do not know them, and even if some of them know, they have not the tendency to follow them. They have no faith, nor are they willing to act in terms of Vedic injunctions. The demons are not clean, either externally or internally. One should always be careful to keep his body clean by bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes, etc. As far as internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy names of the Lord and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The demons neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. As for behavior, there are many rules and regulations guiding human behavior, such as the Manu Samhita, which is the law of the human race. Even up to today, those who are Hindu follow the Manu Samhita. Laws of inheritance and other legalities are derived from this book. Now, in the Manu Samhita, it is clearly stated that a woman should not be given freedom. That does not mean that women are to be kept as slaves, but they are like children. Children are not given freedom, but that does not mean that they are kept as slaves. The demons have now neglected such injunctions and they think that women should be given as much freedom as men. However, this has not improved the social condition of the world. Actually, a woman should be given protection at every stage of life. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, as it is said here, that the demoniac people do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. They neglect the external and internal cleanliness. They are not inclined to proper behavioral rules, and no truth is found in them. So we see the demons, therefore, do not accept any instruction which is good for the society. And because they do not follow the experience of great sages, the rishis, and because they do not follow the rules and regulations laid down by the sages, the social condition of the demoniac people is very miserable. And that is why the overall condition of the society is miserable. Because almost all of us are with demoniac dispositions nowadays in this Kali Yuga. And regarding the women, as here it is said, that they, as it is mentioned here, that children are not given freedom and women are like the children, it means that they are very tender. Maybe few exceptions are there, but today we can see the women are also in the army. In the Vedic period also it was there. We know about Chitrangada, Arjuna's wife. How powerful she was, and she was a great warrior also. But everyone in the society was not trained in the same manner as Chitrangada. So today also the same scenario. And we can see how they are insulted by the demoniac people of our society, how they are exploited by the demoniac people of the society. How fearful they are when they are outside home, and how fearful their relatives, their parents, their husband, they are when they are outside, especially in the nighttime. So the protection is always to be given to the women. Here, freedom does not mean that they will be treated as slaves. They should be treated as queens, as it is clearly mentioned in Manusmriti as well as in all the Vedic scriptures. We will not get into detail now, but it is clearly mentioned that in a house where women are respected, there all kind of auspiciousness is always present. So women should be respected properly. And freedom means they are always to be treated as the most precious part of the family. And we see in the families where this is maintained, those families are really very happy families. So, but the demoniac people don't understand this. That Prabhupada mentions in today's context, especially in this century or the last century also, the later part of the last century. So it is about the last 60, 70 years in the context of that. Anyway, so we will move on to the next verse. असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम्. Synonyms: asatyam, unreal; apratishtham, without foundation; they; jagat, the cosmic manifestation; ahuhu, say; anishwaram, with no controller; aparaspara, without cause; sambhutam, arisen; kimanyat, there is no other cause; kama haitukam, it is due to lust only. Translation: they say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So we see this this is the thought of such demoniac people. They don't believe in the reality of this. creation. So they say this world is not real, it has no foundation, it has no God in control. So that is their thought, apasiddhanta. So they only believe in the mutual union behind the creation. They cannot think beyond that. So here Prabhupada says a very beautiful thing here. I would read a small part from this. The demoniac conclude that the world is phantasmagoria, this beautiful world. Phantasmagoria. There is no cause and effect, no controller, no purpose. Everything is unreal. They say that this cosmic manifestation arises due to chance, material actions, and reactions. They do not think that the world was created by God for a certain purpose. They have their own theory that the world has become about in its own way, and there is no reason to believe that there is God behind it. So we see they are strictly atheists. So we know, as we have studied in extenso from chapter 7 to the last chapter, that how this that how Bhagavan is the ultimate source of everything. Everything means that is the source of both the spiritual world and of the material world. And this material world is the result of his external energy. Definitely, there is a process that we already had discussed. I'm not going into detail now again. So, this theory of creation does not appeal them, the people with demoniac qualities. Okay, so in the next verse, so in chapter 7, 8, 9, everywhere we have learned about it. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. That how I control everything through the prakriti, how I create everything. All these things we have learned. We believe in that, but they do not. So he is the director of everything. Mayadhyakshena. So under his direction, Prakriti is creating this Jagat. But they don't believe in this. And in the next verse, it is said that एतान् दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः. Synonyms. Etam, this. Drishtim, vision. Avashtabhya, accepting. Nashta, having lost. Atmanaha, themselves. Alpa buddhayaha, the less intelligent. Prabhavanti, flourish. Ugrakarmanaha, engaged in painful activities. Shayaya, for destruction. Jagataha, for the of the world. Ahitaha, unbeneficial. Translation. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. As we see, if the conclusions are misleading, then definitely the actions based on those conclusions will be ruining, very harmful to the society. And that is happening because large number of demoniac people in the society, they have no intelligence, as it is said, etan drishtim avashtabhya, they accepted such vision, nashta atmanaha, they are lost completely, alpa buddhayaha, less intelligent, prabhavanti ugra karmanaha, they are engaged in painful activities, horrible activities, kshayaya, for destruction, jagatah, of the world. So ultimately that leads to destruction of the world. So I would read the purport. The demoniac are engaged in activities that will lead the world to destruction. The Lord states here that they are less intelligent. The materialists who have no concept of God think that they are advancing. But according to Bhagavad Gita, they are unintelligent and devoid of all sense. They try to enjoy this material world to the utmost limit and therefore always engage in inventing something for sense gratification. Such materialistic inventions are considered to be advancement of human civilization. But the result is that people grow more and more violent and more cruel. Cruel to animals, cruel to other human beings. This is the fact, the harsh reality. And it is happening due to such demoniac people. So apparently, we may think that we are advancing. So many technological advancement, we can see our life has become very smooth. We think that we can sit at home and connect with the people miles away in a second. Definitely, but how we are utilizing them? It is not the case that these advancement we should not appreciate. Definitely, It deserves appreciation, but it is not all of life. A person can happily live without all this if they have the proper knowledge, the proper understanding, if they have the divine qualities within their heart, if they're born with the divine qualities, if they have already done pious activities for many, many lifetimes, then definitely they are born with the divine qualities and they're happy people. Without the so-called material advancement also, they are very happy. Where there is God in the center, all these advancements are appreciable because this advancement, we are using them to satisfy the Lord. For example, we are sitting in our respective homes and we are connected through the internet, through Zoom. So, what we are doing here, we are concentrating on God. We are studying His instructions. If it is the case, then definitely it is appreciable. But in the godless society, these advancements are of no use. It will be distractive then. People may plan to rob a bank, maybe through some this such kind of a conversation and something like that. So that is the difference between a society where God is in the center, that is the Arya society, or the society where all the people are with divine dispositions, and on the other hand, the godless society where the people are with the demoniac qualities. And who don't believe in the existence of God, who don't care to follow the rules and regulations mentioned in the Shastras. They don't give respect to the sages and their instructions. So that is why Bhagavan is explaining these demoniac qualities. So how they think, how they act, everything he is telling us so that we can save ourselves from such people, and even save ourselves to avoid such qualities to be reflected in our heart, which might be present as a result of maybe past births, that is maybe before 100 births, but we don't know. And they are like the dormant impressions in our mind. Okay, so the next verse, that is 10. Kamamashritya dushpuram dambhamanamadanvitaha mohad grihit त्यक्त्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः. Synonyms: kamam, lust; ashritya, taking shelter of; dushpuram, insatiable; dambha, of pride; mana, and false prestige; mada anvitaha, absorbed in the conceit; mohat, by illusion; grihitva, taking; asat, non-permanent; grahan, things; pravartante, they flourish; ashuchi, in the unclean, to the unclean; vrataha, avowed. Translation: taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. So again, the demoniac mentality is described here in this verse. They are very lusty people. They go on increasing and increasing their insatiable desires for material enjoyment. So Ashuchi Vrataha, that is unclean vows, is very significant in this connection. Such demoniac people are only attracted to wine, women, gambling, and meat eating. Those are their ashuchi, unclean habits, induced by pride and false prestige. They create some principles of religion which are not approved by the Vedic injunctions. Although such demoniac people are most abominable in the world, by artificial means, the world creates a false honor for them. Although they are gliding toward hell, they consider themselves very much advanced. Due to their ignorance, they do not know how they are gliding down toward the hell. And apparently, we can also conclude with our insufficient intelligence that they are actually advancing. Because that is, as it is mentioned here, by artificial means, the world creates false honor to them, for them. As we see many so-called honorable people around us who are actually demoniac people, asurik bhavamapanna. But still we respect them, all, all them. We give much honor to them because of such illusion. And the society is, as we see, it is difficult to talk about. So I'm not very free to relate the things, but we can understand what I mean and what here Prabhupada means in this connection. If we observe in this society with eyes open, then we will relate this very well. Anyway, here Bhagavan again continues. Text 11 and 12 together. Chintamaparimeyaं cha pralayantamupashritaah kamopabhoga parama etavaditi nishchitaah आशापाशशतैर्बद्धः कामक्रोधपरायणाः ईहन्ति कामभोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थसञ्चयान्. See, you will get the points here. Chintam, fears and anxieties. Aparimeyam, immeasurable. Cha and pralaya antam, unto the point of death. Upashritaha, having taken shelter of. Kama upabhoga, sense gratification. Paramaha, the highest goal of life. Etavat, thus. Iti, in this way. Nishchitaha, having ascertained. Asha, pasha, entanglements in the network of hope. Shataihi, by hundreds. Baddhaha, being bound. Kama, of lust. Krodha, and anger. Parayanaha, always situated in the mentality. Ihante, they desire. Kama, lust. Bhoga, sense enjoyment. Artham, for the purpose of. Anyayena, illegally. Artha, of wealth. Sanchayan, accumulation. Translation. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. So see, for them, the goal of their life is sense gratification. That is the ultimate goal of their life. So they try to satisfy their senses more and more till the death. And this happens life after life. But they don't believe in transmigration of the soul. So they do not care about it. They always continue planning for this life. But the non-permanence of this life, they do not understand. Chintam aparimeyamsha. They are always anxious and fearful. Anxious about not getting the things they want. Fearful about their fear is for losing the things that they have acquired. It may be their wealth, their own people, relatives, etc. Pralaya antam, unto the point of death. So it does not mean that they are fearful and anxious for a particular period of time. Throughout their life, this continues. Because they haven't taken shelter of God. They have taken shelter of sense gratification. Kama upabhoga. And that is why they are entangled in a network of hope. Asha, pasha, shatehi, hundreds of that. Baddha, bound. Kama, krodha, parayanaha. They are lusty, they are angry. And to satisfy their desires, they are ready to secure money by all illegal means possible. They do not hesitate for that. Such is the nature of demoniac people. Okay, the next. 13, 14, 15. Three verses together. इदमद्य मया लब्धम् इमं प्राप्स्ये मनोरथम् इदमस्तीदमपि मे भविष्यति पुनर्धनम् असौ मया हतः शत्रुः हनिष्ये चापरानपि ईश्वरोऽहमहं भोगी सिद्धोऽहं बलवान् सुखी आढ्योऽभिजनवानस्मि पुण्योऽस्ति सदृशो मया यक्षे दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञानविमोहिताः. So I'm not reading the synonyms. You can read it on your own. I will go to the translation. The demoniac persons think so much wealth, the demoniac person in singular thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed them, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. We see that when a person is addicted to sense enjoyment, he loses all his sense. And as it is mentioned in the previous verse, to gratify his senses, he is ready to have wealth by every possible means, may it be illegal. And once he gets that, he becomes very proud. He becomes very proud of what he has acquired. And he become more and more arrogant. Today I have achieved this. Tomorrow I am going to achieve more. And I will destroy everything and everybody coming in my way to achieve that. I have killed him today. I will kill another person, yes, tomorrow. if he comes in my way of achieving what I want. So it is their mentality. We know about Duryodhana, we know about Ravana, we know about Kamsa. They are all of this category. And these days also, maybe the degree is lesser, but so many people we can notice. Okay. So, verse 16. अनेक चित्त विभ्रांता मोह जाल समावृताः प्रसक्तः काम भोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च. This is beautiful. Synonyms. Aneka, numerous. Chitta, by anxieties. Vibhrantaha, perplexed. Moha, of illusions. Jala, by a network. Samavritaha, surrounded. Prasaktaha, attached. Kama bhogeshu, to sense gratification. Patanti, they glide down. Narake, into hell. Ashuchau, unclean. Translation. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. So, Bhagavan, in these verses, he enumerates the thought that is going on in their mind, the action that they do, and the fate that they will have. Everything here in these verses. So Bhagavan says here that after doing all these notorious things, they become perplexed by various anxieties, and thus they are bound by the network of illusions. Mohajala samavritaha. What kind of network? They bound them in, that is mohajala, the network of illusion, in which they attract. But they don't understand it. They don't identify it. That is why they are very happy in their own way. Prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chau. So in such ignorance and illusion, they feel themselves very happy and proud. But ultimately, what happens to them? They glide down into the hell. Narakeshu chau. Okay, the next three verses also we will learn today. आत्मसम्भावितस्तब्धा आत्मसम्भावितस्तब्धा धनमानमदन्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेनाविधिपूर्वकम्. Synonyms. Okay, I am not reading the synonyms, okay? Because we will get late. The translation. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige. They sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules and regulations. So sometimes they make a show of that they are very religious, and some religious functions also they may perform to impress the general mass of people. They do it as a result of their pride. We know Duryodhana, he also did it. They are like stabdha. When ignorance is so high, then it is very close to dullness. That is jadatva. So they are so proud and deluded that all the capacities of good thinking are lost. So here it is said that the demons, however, do not care for such restrictions. And as it is mentioned that they do all the sacrifices avidhi purvakam, without following the rules and regulations mentioned in the scriptures. So they think that whatever path one can create is one's own path. There is no such thing as a standard path one has to follow. The word avidhi purvakam, meaning a disregard for the rules and regulations, is especially stressed here in this verse. These things are always due to ignorance and illusion. So the highest degree of ignorance and illusion, here it is mentioned in these verses. Some may have in little low degree, but we have to be very careful about it. The next verse we will study. Ahankaram balam tarpam kamam krodham cha sanshritāh मामात्मा paradeheषु pradvishantobhyasuyakaः. Translation: bewildered by false ego. Ahankaram, strength, pride, lust, and anger. Balam, darpam, kamam, krodham. The demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Bhagavan says here, Mama Atma Paradeheshu. Mam, it is me who is situated in everybody's heart. So, what he does, he tortures me, who is seated in his heart, and he tortures the other people. And in this way, he hurts me then also, because I am present in everyone's heart. Mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanti abhyasuyaka. Abhyasuyaka means envious. Pradvishanta, blasphemy. So, ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham. See, today I was speaking in some other class that our Gaudiya Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, he warns us to be very careful about six kinds of ahankaras, false prestige. That is, one is that is jati mad. That is, as it is said in which verse it is there? Adhyobhi. Mm, just a minute. Adhyo abhijanavanasmi. Verse number 15. Verse number 15 it is. Hmm? Adhya abhijanavan. So the pride of Jat, that is high born, they think themselves that I am born in a very higher caste or etc. And next, number two is Rupamad, pride of their bodily beauty or luster or whatever. And third is Gunamada. That is, maybe he's having some qualities in the material terms. Four is Jnanamada, that is pride of knowledge. Five is Aishwaryamada, that is pride of wealth. And Balamada, that is pride of strength. That is, I'm a great warrior. I'm very powerful. So, like this. So he says, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, that we must be very careful if any of this comes in our way, that then we will be unable to continue our Krishna bhajana. We will find it very difficult to progress in our sadhana. So here also, why Bhagavan is saying all these things? He is not saying that all of you are like this. He is warning us that, see, many people are of this category. You may also have a little percentage of some of the qualities. Very carefully watch yourself. If anything happens like this, maybe 0.01%, then also you have to be very careful and you have to be immediately, you have to remove it from your heart. Like some kind of darpa, pride may develop in our heart anytime. So, but we have to be careful about. Okay, the next verse, that is verse number 19. So verse number 20 till verse number 20, we will study today. तानहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसरेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रमशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु. Synonyms I'm keeping again. Translation: those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So now Bhagavan is giving a beautiful conclusion that, see, these demoniac people, they are very satisfied in themselves. They are proud, they are arrogant, they are completely in the illusion and ignorance and false ego. They feel themselves very happy and satisfied. They are not aware of their fate. But as I, who decides the destiny of each and every living entity, what will I do? I will cast them into the ocean of material existence forever and ever, into various demoniac species of life. So in this verse, it is clearly indicated that the placing of a particular individual soul in a particular body is the prerogative of the supreme will. It is clear here, it is mentioned, I am reading from the purport. The demoniac person may not agree to accept the supremacy of the Lord, and it is a fact that he may act according to his own whims, but his next birth will depend upon the decision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not on himself. Such a person can be very proud that I will decide my own life. Maybe I have decided everything about my this life. So everything is settled by me. Everything was my choice. But the choice of getting a new birth, who will be your parents? What kind of a body you are going to get? That is not in your hand. That is not your choice. Nobody's choice. It is determined only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, it is stated that an individual soul after his death is put into the womb of a mother where he gets a particular type of body under the supervision of superior power. Some other day we will discuss about it. It is a very beautiful part in Srimad Bhagavatam. All the detail from the embryo state till the uh, birth of the baby, it is described how beautifully. And in Sangit Ratnakara also, it is very beautifully described by Shangadeva, which we studied. It is somehow related to music, and that's why. Anyway, keep it aside. So therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insects, men, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons. And thus, they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Such demoniac species of men are held to be always full of lust, always violent and hateful, and always unclean. Many kinds of hunters in the jungle are considered to belong to the demoniac species of life. So they are actually very cruel, lusty, hateful, and unclean within and without, externally and internally both. Okay, the next verse we will read and we'll conclude today's session. आसुरीं योनिमापन्ना मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि मामप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम् ततो यान्ति अधमां गतिम्. So, translation: attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Due to their arrogance and pride, they attain repeated birth among the lower and lower species of demoniac life. So, such people can never approach the Lord. And they gradually sink down to the most abominable type of existence. The gradual downfall is guaranteed by the Lord for such demoniac people, about which the Lord described in the last few verses. Their thought process, their activities, their fate, everything is discussed here in this section. And the next section will again give us the light of hope, that how we can save ourselves from such downfall. So till then, we will take a break. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you for joining.